Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with Nicole Russo. It's the DRF Breeding Report. We're going to take a look back at last week's Grade 2 Fountain of Youth Stakes, an important Kentucky Derby prep. Nicole, they swing into the stretch. Promises Fulfilled was ready off the layoff for trainer Dale Romans. A gate-to-wire score and a great ride from Arad Ortiz.
Yeah, definitely. Promises Fulfilled by the young stallion Shackelford, who had a horse knocking at the door at this point on the Derby Trail last year, too, with Malegacy. Shackelford, of course, winner of the 2011 Preakness Stakes, son of Forestry. And, yeah, Promises Fulfilled really smoked in a nice field, also including two-year-old champion Good Magic off the layoff.
By Shackelford, as you mentioned, $20,000 is his stud fee this year at Darby Dan Farm in Kentucky. You mentioned his victory in the Preakness. He won the Met Mile. He won the Clark. He's looking for his first Grade 1 winner as a stallion. We take a look at this female family. Close up in the family, you see a lot of sprinter, miler influences. Promises Fulfilled's a half to Marquee Miss and Marquee Calgal, who did some good work on both dirt and synthetic at distances up to a mile. But when you peel the onion back a little bit more, you see some distance a little bit further back in the female family.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely have to go back a little ways. The female family close up, maybe not necessarily sprints, but definitely, middle distances, I think, were their limits. The Dam Marquee Delivery by the decent broodmare sire Marquetry didn't win beyond a mile and 70, but, she was graded placed at a mile and at a mile and an eighth on the Poly. She's produced, this is her third stakes horse, and the other two, as you mentioned, Marquee Miss and Marquee Calgal. Marquee Calgal did not win past 6 furlongs and change. Marquee Miss won it up to a mile and was stakes placed going a bit longer. Those two both bred on the same pattern as Promises Fulfilled. They're both by the Giants Causeway stallion Cowboy Cal, who, like Shackelford, is a Stormcat line stallion. Then the next dam going back, Fast Delivery, won it up to a mile and a 16th. But, yeah, she was much better at shorter distances as well. And as you mentioned, I think there's more stamina further back in the pedigree. But under those first two dams, definitely kind of a middle distance limit there, I think.
But some underrated class, to be sure, in this pedigree, and perhaps these connections got a bargain. They purchased Promises Fulfilled for $37,000 at the Keeneland September yearling sale of 2016. Promises Fulfilled showed big speed, exploded from a buyer's standpoint last time, a 96 buyer's speed figure, 20 points higher than anything he earned as a two-year-old, maybe aided by the speed-friendly Gulfstream surface. Where do you see Promises Fulfilled ceiling? Do you see him as sort of a Derby horse, or do you think he's more of a middle distance speedster?
Well, I do think you hit the nail on the head a little bit about the Gulfstream track. I look at this horse really as kind of a one-turn to middle distance type horse, and that's the sort of horse who can, stretch their speed a little bit on Gulfstream surface. With him likely to go to the Florida Derby, we won't see him away from Gulfstream until he gets to Kentucky, if he gets that far. That being said, he is a May foal. He does have room for a lot more improvement, I do think. And, Shackelford would certainly struck you as a middle distance type horse who was gritty enough to stretch that speed out to classic distances, ran so well in so many longer events, including the Preakness and the Clark, as we mentioned. I do think Promises Fulfilled, based on his female family, his kind of ceiling is going to be that mile to a 16th, even to a mile and an eighth. But, I'm still waiting for one of these runners by Shackelford to inherit some of their sire's grit. And if they do, I think they can stretch that natural speed.
Promises Fulfilled, 3 for 4 in his career. A really nice 3-year-old debut, spoiling the 3-year-old debut of 2-year-old champion Good Magic in the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth. The waters get deeper as the distances increase, but Promises Fulfilled, very impressive last week. A 96 buyer speed figure, gate to wire over a speed-friendly track. Next week, we'll have lots to talk about in the DRF Breeding Report. 3 important Kentucky Derby preps coming up this weekend. We've got the Gotham, the San Felipe, and the Tampa Bay Derby. We'll see you next week.